Imagine it's the year 2123 and you're rummaging through your great-grandparents' pantry. The world as we know it has changed, but a few things remain the same, like these 13 foods that stay fresh forever when stored properly. In a world where survival could hinge on having a well-stocked pantry, the longevity of foods becomes more than just a matter of convenience, it's a necessity. As we look to the future, it's important to consider which foods can withstand the test of time. Foods that don't just last a couple of weeks or months, but years, decades, even centuries. Now you might be thinking, what could possibly last that long? Well, there are some culinary marvels that are just as good today as they would be 100 years from now. Foods that, when stored properly, defy the laws of expiration. So, what are these culinary marvels? Let's dive in, one bite at a time. But first, let's lighten the mood. You know, preppers get a bad rap sometimes. People say we're always expecting the worst. But hey, we're just the ones who'll have the last laugh when the zombies show up, right? Now speaking of laughs, here's a little prepper humor for you. Why don't preppers make good chefs? Because they never serve anything fresh. Now that's pretty funny, isn't it? We all know that freshness is subjective when you're looking at a can of beans that's been in your pantry for a decade. On a serious note though, if you're finding value in this content and you want to stay prepared for whatever life throws at you, be sure to hit that subscribe button. You'll be joining our community here at Prepping for Tomorrow, where we're all about ensuring survival, one can opener at a time. Alright, back to the serious stuff. Our first long-lasting food is... drumroll please, our first three foods are pasta, oats, and popcorn. Let's start with pasta. This staple food of Italian cuisine is known for its long shelf life. Dried pasta, when stored properly, can remain edible for years. The key to preserving pasta is to keep it in a cool, dry place. A pantry or a kitchen cabinet away from heat sources is perfect. Just make sure it's sealed tightly in an airtight container to protect it from pests and moisture. Next up we have oats. Oats are a versatile food that can be used in a variety of dishes, from breakfast porridge to baking. They're a great source of fiber and can help keep you full for longer. But did you know that they're also champions of longevity? When stored correctly, oats can last for years. The secret is to keep them in a cool, dry place, just like pasta, and again, an airtight container is your best friend. Finally, in this trio of timeless foods, we have popcorn. Yes, you heard it right. Popcorn kernels, when stored properly, can last indefinitely. They might become a little tougher with age, but they'll still pop. Just make sure to store them in a cool, dry place, away from sunlight. And remember, once popped, popcorn should be consumed immediately. So there you have it, our first three foods that defy time. Pasta, oats, and popcorn. Each of these foods, when stored properly, can stay fresh for years, if not indefinitely. They're not just tasty and versatile, but also a good source of nutrients. It's amazing how simple foods, with a little bit of care, can become part of our survival toolkit, isn't it? But remember, proper storage is key. Keep these foods in a cool, dry place, sealed tightly in an airtight container. But that's not all. We've got plenty more to go through. So, stay tuned for our next set of foods that time forgot. Next up we have tea, dried fruits, and ghee. Starting with tea, this beloved beverage has been around for thousands of years, and its longevity isn't just in its history. Properly stored tea can last an eternity. The secret is to keep it in a cool, dark place away from light, heat, and moisture. Even though the flavor might diminish over time, the tea itself won't spoil. So, whether you're a fan of black, green, or white tea, rest assured that your favorite brew has a place in your long-term storage plan. Next on our list, we have dried fruits. Now you might be thinking, don't dried fruits lose their nutritional value over time? The answer is no. Dried fruits, when stored properly, can retain their nutritional value for years. The key is to store them in a cool, dark place in an airtight container. This helps to prevent the oxidation process, thus preserving the fruit's nutritional value. From raisins to apricots, they're not only delicious but also packed with essential nutrients. Finally, let's talk about ghee. This clarified butter has been a staple in Indian cuisine for centuries, and it's renowned for its long shelf life. Unlike regular butter, ghee can stay fresh without refrigeration. The secret lies in its preparation process that removes all the milk solids and water. Just remember to store it in an airtight container, away from direct sunlight and heat sources, and you're good to go. Ghee is not only a great source of healthy fats but also adds a rich, nutty flavor to your meals. As we delve into these foods that seemingly defy time, it's important to remember that proper storage is key to their longevity. These are not just foods, they're lifelines, providing essential nutrients when fresh food might be scarce or unavailable. And we're just halfway through. Stick around for the rest. Moving on, we have beef jerky, dried spices and herbs, and maple syrup. First on the list in this segment, beef jerky. Known for its long shelf life and protein-packed punch, beef jerky is a staple in many survival packs. When stored properly in a cool and dry place, this salty treat can last up to 2 years unopened. Once opened, it's best to consume within a week. But let's be honest, who can resist gobbling it up straight away? Next up, dried spices and herbs. These culinary gems don't just add flavor to your food, they also have quite an impressive shelf life. While the intensity of flavor may fade over time, dried spices and herbs can be stored indefinitely when kept in airtight containers and stored in a cool, dry place. Remember, the key to longevity is proper storage. Finally, let's delve into the sweet world of maple syrup. This deliciously thick liquid gold, when unopened and stored in a cool place, can last indefinitely. Once opened, however, it's best to refrigerate it, where it can stay fresh for up to a year. But here's a pro tip. If your open maple syrup starts to crystallize over time, don't fret. Simply reheat it to dissolve the crystals and it's good as new. So there you have it. 3 more items to add to your forever fresh list. Beef jerky, a protein-rich snack that can last up to 2 years. Dried spices and herbs, the flavor enhancers that can stay potent indefinitely with proper storage. And maple syrup, the sweet delight that can last a lifetime if unopened and up to a year when refrigerated after opening. In a world where the future can be uncertain, it's comforting to know that there are foods that can withstand the test of time, foods that can be stored and relied upon when times get tough, foods that, with a little care and proper storage, can stay fresh forever. Impressive, isn't it? But wait, we have the final set coming up. And our final set includes pure vanilla extract, potato flakes, ramen noodles, and powdered jello. Starting off with pure vanilla extract, a staple in many kitchens. It's not only used for its flavor but also for its virtually indefinite shelf life. Kept in a cool, dark place, this extract will serve you for years to come. Its high alcohol content works as a preservative, keeping it fresh and flavorful, making it a must-have in your survival pantry. Next up, we have potato flakes. Lightweight, versatile, and boasting a long shelf life, these are a prepper's dream. When stored properly in a cool, dry place, they can last up to 10 years. That's a decade worth of mashed potatoes, folks, just waiting to be rehydrated and served. Now let's talk about ramen noodles. These instant noodles are not just a favorite of college students, but also a great option for long-term food storage. Packed full of carbs and easy to prepare, they can provide the necessary energy in a survival situation. Just ensure they are kept in a cool, dry place, away from pests, and they can last for a good 10 years or more. Finally, we have powdered jello. This might seem like an odd choice, but don't be fooled. This sweet treat can be stored indefinitely and offers a morale boost when times are tough. Remember, survival isn't just about the bare necessities. It's about maintaining a sense of normalcy and comfort. And what could be more comforting than a bowl of jello? Just make sure to keep it in a cool, dry place, sealed in an airtight container. And there you have it, 13 foods that defy time. It's not magic, it's just good prepping.